Welcome back to Pierre Solves. Today I'm trying out Flower Jungle, the 500-piece puzzle from Ravensburger that was used in the 2024 World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. It looks like a really fun image, and when I found it locally I just had to pick it up. As I've mentioned before, I'm a casual puzzler, not a speed puzzler. I still haven't cracked the sub 1 hour mark on a 500-piece puzzle, but one day I will. On this video I'm trying something a little different with the editing. Instead of jumping straight into a full time lapse, I want to show more of the actual build process and highlight different sections along the way. Later in the video I'll include the full time lapse so you can see the entire solve from start to finish. I only have one camera, so the showcase build and the time lapse will be two separate solves. I'm still experimenting with the style, so let me know what you think. Do you prefer seeing more of the build like this, or should I stick to the classic time lapse format? Let's jump in and I'll pack more details as we go. So as we get started, this is a really beautiful, fun looking puzzle. The artwork is by Darlene Seeley. I checked the solve times for this one on my speed puzzling, and they're kind of insane. The top recorded first time solve is just under 35 minutes, which is honestly hard to wrap my head around. And the fastest ever solve is just under 29 minutes. At this point in the puzzle, I took a quick lunch break and used the opportunity to swap out my camera batteries. This is my total progress at the 1 hour 14 minute mark. I'm really enjoying this puzzle. It's actually a fun illustration. What I love about it is all the subtle color variations. For example, the oranges in different areas of the puzzle have distinct gradients and patterns. And some of the pink flowers are solid light and dark, while others have delicate pink lines within the petals. So when you pick up a piece, you can usually tell which flower it belongs to and which section of the puzzle it goes in. This is far from a frustrating puzzle, and so far I don't think it's very difficult. And of course it's a Ravensburger, which means no false fits. Not to be biased, but I really enjoy building this brand, and I love the illustrations for the most part. This one is a winner. And here's a fun fact to recap. Flower Jungle actually made its debut at the 2024 World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships as a never-before-seen puzzle for the competitors, and after the event it was finally released for everyone to enjoy. The puzzle community seems to really love it. Over on Reddit, puzzlers called it a standout from Worlds, saying it practically puts itself together. And I agree. It certainly is a fun one to build, and if you have the opportunity to get your hands on it, definitely give it a try. So if you want to see how this whole thing came together from start to finish, we're jumping straight into the full overhead time-lapse now. The overhead time-lapse was actually my first solve. Enjoy watching the puzzle come alive. So that was the full time lapse, and here are my final times. My first solve came in at 2 hours, 22 minutes and 7 seconds, and then the second solve, the showcase build, was 1 hour, 54 minutes and 21 seconds. The main difference in the times really came down to strategy. On the first solve I was just flipping pieces, which felt fast at the start but definitely slowed me down later on. For the second solve, I flipped pieces and pulled out the edge at the same time, and that made a big difference overall. It might feel slower up front, but in the long run it definitely speeds things up, at least in my experience. I can actually see why this puzzle was used at Worlds. It's not overly difficult, but it really rewards good sorting and pattern recognition, and it definitely puts into perspective how fast top solvers are. Getting this under 35 minutes is just insane. As this is a really fun and colorful puzzle, it's one of those I don't mind building multiple times. If I really enjoy a puzzle, I'll build it many times over. Puzzles are just too expensive to only do once. Some of my favorites I've probably built over 20 times. Then as usual I broke the puzzle down into still frames to create a sort of collapsing effect from the side. Then rebuilt it from the center out and again from all four corners in. I think it turned out pretty epic, and it's a different way to enjoy this puzzle again. Sticking to the World Jigsaw Championships theme, the second puzzle I decided to feature in this video is Ocean by Ravensburger. I first saw this puzzle featured at the 2023 World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, and I distinctly remember the world champion at the time, Alejandro, building it. A few weeks later I managed to track it down and add it to my collection. This puzzle is one of 6 in the first series of Ravensburger's Circle of Colors range, and as the name suggests, this is a circular puzzle rather than a rectangular one. Just like the previous puzzle, I'll be using the same new editing style, showing more of the build process first and then including the full overhead time-lapse later in the video. Let's jump into the build and I'll talk more about this puzzle as we progress. So at the 20-minute mark, I have built most of the edge out and built out as many white pieces as I could find. As mentioned in the intro, this puzzle is called Ocean from Ravensburger's Circle of Colors series. It is illustrated by Asia Orlando. She's a digital artist and illustrator based in the Netherlands, and a lot of her work is inspired by nature and wildlife. The design, true to the theme, follows a circular color wheel dividing the puzzle up into different color sections. There are a lot of interesting fish featured in the design, and of course the famous clownfish, made famous in that Disney movie Finding Nemo, features as well. In the center of the image is an oyster with a pearl, which we are busy building out on screen now. When I first saw this puzzle in 2023, the World Championship holder of the time, Alejandro, completed this in 36 minutes and 46 seconds, which again is just crazy fast when you compare it to a normal solve. So that completes the showcase build, and as you can see, my time on this one was 1 hour and 39 minutes, my fastest solve of this puzzle yet. It also really puts into perspective the insane difference in build times between professional puzzlers and casual puzzlers. I really enjoy these circular puzzles. They offer a slightly different build experience from normal rectangular puzzles. The first concentric circles in the middle are definitely easy to put together thanks to the curve on the pieces, almost like a little freebie. And just look how beautiful this puzzle is. Rich, detailed, and colorful. It's also not a frustrating puzzle to build, which makes it even more enjoyable. So now onto my second build of this puzzle for the video, the overhead time-lapse. For those who want to see it come together from start to finish without interruptions, here it is. And that brings us to the end of today's builds. I selected two colorful illustrations, both used at the World Jigsaw Puzzle Championships, and I hope you enjoyed watching them come to life. I also tried a slightly different editing style in this video, showing more of the build process before the full time lapse, so I'd be interested to hear what you think of that. Thanks for spending some time with me on this one. Hopefully I've given you some inspiration for other puzzles you might want to try. I do have a puzzle builds playlist if you'd like to check out more of my content. Until next time, Pierre out.